Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining our tonight's live stream. And today's topic is how to transition from technical role to agile leadership role. So thank you for finding some time this evening to join our discussion. Please introduce yourself in the comments. Let us know what you do and join our conversation with your comments and questions. So if you're new to my live show, I'm Jana Martins and I'm a video confidence coach, and I've just recently started my journey as an IT recruiter. So hence I've started a new YouTube channel dedicated to IT career in Australia. So tonight we're going to talk about how to transition from technical role to agile leadership role, and Sandip is going to share his valuable insight and real life experience as he has actually transitioned himself. So as the world is changing, new opportunities popping up, I'm sure there are a few of you who have been thinking like, what's next? Which career direction should I choose? So it's an incredibly relevant topic for, IT space, and make sure tag or share this video with your friends who need to hear this. So before I pass it on to Sandip to introduce himself, just a quick reminder that we're going live on LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube. So to watch the replays, subscribe to my YouTube channel, IT Career in Australia. And I'm going live every Wednesday, 5:30 p.m. Melbourne time, with various experts from my network talking about all things IT career, job search, and specifics of IT industry in Australia. So we're going to answer all your questions. Please don't be shy. Ask questions from on any platform, but please make sure stay on the topic. Ask as many questions as you want, and you know what? The most active participants will also receive a nice surprise at the end of the stream. So that's enough of me. I'm going to pass it to Sandip to introduce himself.
Thanks, Jana. Thanks a lot. Hello, everyone. I'm Sandip Rananavare. I'm a senior agile coach consultant. I've got around 18 years of experience. So today I'm going to share my experience, how I have transitioned from technical role to agile leadership role. I started my career as an R&D engineer in one of the leading telecom product development company. And then recently, throughout this career, I realized that my heart belongs to agile. And that's where, I can add more value. I find that as my passion. So I have moved from technical role into agile leadership role, where I got opportunity to work with, multiple teams, senior leadership across different industries like banking, telco, utility services, so on and so forth. So today I'm here to help you get transition from your technical role to agile leadership role and, support you in this journey.
Thank you, Sandip. So I guess, the first thing we're going to talk about is just a bit of a, if you give us a general overview on agile organization and what's actually the difference between, agile leadership roles and just traditional leadership roles.
Sure, absolutely. So when we talk about the agile organizations, we are talking about organizations wherein, you have got different entities, team members. They are working as an organism rather than old organization wherein it was more, command and control, hierarchy driven, rather than someone who is working at a, a ground level, coming up and working together towards a common goal, common purpose, and trying to make difference in customers' life. So in agile organizations, you quite often don't see a lot of hierarchical structure. You see team members who are empowered to make decisions. You see leadership who is playing a bit different role. Rather than acting as a manager, telling what you need to do on day-to-day basis, leaders are there to support you. They are there to, empower you, grow you as an individual in your career. And they're there to help you as a teacher or mentor. So that's the key distinction between agile organization and traditional organization, wherein in traditional organization, it's a transaction-based relationship when people are expected to do their job because they are paid. Whereas in agile organization, it's a trust-based, relationship-based, culture, wherein you expect your leader to help you to grow in a different areas and to act as a servant leader who is there to support you throughout your journey. So that's the big difference between agile organization and traditional organization. Another thing, just to wrap up this topic, is that agile organization is more focused towards delivering outcomes and serving customers. So it's more externally focused, and that can be done only when you have got employees who are engaged, motivated, and want to deliver some significant change, which is going to make huge impact.
You know, I'm just gonna, throw you under the bus. Do you know
That's fine.
actually companies who's really good at doing that? Because it all sounds so good. You don't tell people what to do. You support the team, you lead the team, but in reality, like, can you tell? Do you know the company who's really doing it well?
So there are a lot of startup companies, particularly I don't know whether you have heard about book called The Lean Startup, which is written by Eric Ries.
Hmm.
So many companies who have got this customer centricity, they want team members to go extra mile and interact with them, understand what actual pain points they are facing, what different opportunities those customers are looking for. They have adopted this agile organizational structure, wherein team members are empowered to talk directly with the customers. If I want to take example of few organizations within Australia, I happen to work in one of the leading, telco organization, wherein in our program, uh, we had beta customers, we had actual customers who used to look and see how product has been built, and feedback was taken from them, and team members were empowered along with their, someone called as a product owner, to make a call what needs to be worked on next. And whole idea there was that once team members know what they are doing, for whom they are doing, and what's that wider goal is, or what their purpose, it becomes quite easy for those team members to stay motivated and deliver things. And with the right kind of leadership, your focus will be to help them. So there's a less need for micromanagement. Of course, you need to have certain policies and procedures in place to ensure there's a stability within organization, but at the end of the day, you want to provide right kind of guidance and right kind of support in order to make them effective.
And look, I guess coming back to our today's topic, when someone decide to, transition to agile leadership role, what they should expect, what is agile leadership?
So they should first of all understand that why they want to transition from this core technical role to agile leadership role. And when we talk about agile leadership role, it has got various dimensions. So you are talking of environment wherein rather than relying on what you are relying on collective knowledge. You are relying on your team members and their expertise to deliver that right outcome. You're talking about mindset wherein you are more focused towards long-term goal and towards what customer is looking for. When you talk about agile leadership, it's all about serving others. So it's not power driven, one of those roles wherein you are going to make call, you are going to actually tell everyone what needs to be done on day-to-day basis. It's quite different. Here whole idea is that because you are expert, it's like a typical teacher in a school. So teacher is not there to prove to kid or those students that he or she knows more. They are there to help them grow. Similarly, agile leadership role is more to which is invested in helping others and team members to achieve those outcomes. There are various things which can be explored, and as you can see on this particular slide, there are multiple things to explore and understood. But if anyone want to start the journey, they just need to understand why they want to move in agile leadership role, and then there are different areas which they can explore based on whether they are pretty much keen towards supporting teams or individuals, or they are more keen towards serving customers by developing those innovative products and solutions. So that's all about agile leadership. It's a whole world to explore, and I reckon you will need several months, if not years, to master that field.
And I guess I would like to ask people who watching us today,
Yeah.
are you thinking at the moment to transition to technical role to more agile leadership role, and what's your motivation? Yeah, so, or maybe you don't want to transition, maybe you want to be hands on and keep going technical roles further. Eugene saying hi Eugene. um, Eugene
Hi,
is
Adrian.
not in the technical role, so we know that. We're not gonna ask him. But yeah, so guys, if some of you thinking about transitioning, what would be your motivation? Like, why would you want to transition to a leadership role? And I guess, Sandeep, back to you. What type of like agile leadership roles out there?
Sure. So when we talk about agile leadership roles, it's pretty simple. It's put into two buckets. First one is all about helping teams and individuals by focusing on areas where they can grow, areas wherein existing processes might not be helping. So that role is called as a Scrum Master role. It's a more specific towards a team level. As you can see, it has got so many things, and quite often Scrum Master or team level coach juggles between various areas. So he or she need to act as a change agent, so need to be aware of entire ecosystem, and need to have that emotional intelligence to connect with people, need to be good facilitator. At the end of day, you don't want people to turn up for meetings and then don't get right kind of outcome. He or she need to be someone who has got good understanding about different ways, different tools and techniques from agile world, which can help get day-to-day work better for all team members. So it's more individual focus or team focused, wherein this role is going to act as a team lead, or agile lead at a team level. uh, Again, another thing, whole expectation is that Scrum Master is a more knowledgeable with regard to agile ways of working. So expectation is that as a Scrum Master, you have got more knowledge when it comes to implementing agile ways of working. So you should be able to teach, you should be able to mentor, coach anyone who is new in this field. At the same time, you need to be a learner. So before you tell someone else to do, you need to actually follow those values. So everyone will be looking at you as a role model. So you should be lifelong learner, investing your time to understand different things which will make your team better. So
And
that's more people focused role.
and Sandeep, like I don't know, like for example, I never worked in an IT organization before. So can you, I guess, give me example how the typical day of Scrum Master looks like?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So usually, the way Scrum Master organizes his day is that he spends 20 to 30% of his day in facilitating meetings. So meetings such as daily sync or stand up, wherein everyone is trying to talk about what they have worked yesterday, what they want to work today, and what's actually blocking them to reach those goals. And but there are other meetings where he or she engages with different stakeholders, and try to connect dots and help team to interact with each other. Other thing which Scrum Master quite often heavily get involved is on day-to-day basis is, if there is something which team needs and that's not in place, he or she is going to have a wider visibility. So that person quite often spend a lot of time talking with other team members to understand how those team members can support this his team in order to deliver that value. So essentially facilitating, then arranging things, coaching and mentoring. If it happens that you are seeing within your team two team members are not talking with each other, or probably information is not getting shared as much as expected on day-to-day basis. So looking at those systematic challenges, issues which might not help team to become effective in the long run, Scrum Master spends their days a few hours in actually tackling those things with the help of team.
We have a few questions from the audience, actually, Sandeep. So Nick is here. He's saying, in your opinion, what's the best criteria to determine whether agile approach is suited for a particular problem? For example, waterfall seems to be better suited for major infrastructure project, like building roads, transportation system, etc. So
That's a really good question, Nick. And again, everything is fit for the purpose. So when we talk about agile approach, we are talking about ability to deliver change as fast as we can. And when we talk about delivering change or delivering value to customer as fast as we can, we are not talking about everything to be done within a 2 weeks time. So if any infrastructure project or transportation system project is going to take several years, what's that bare minimum thing we can do, or probably if we are building road, which areas, which destinations has got maximum traffic, or where are those pain points where people are looking for those roads. You might invest more effort and money in building those road first, rather than trying to have this big bang road construction project wherein you are trying to reach out and connect everyone, every city, every regional area. So Agile talks about having that mindset where you always try to deliver value incrementally as fast as possible in a given context. So if it's a in a 5 years, if you are going to deliver something, rather than 5 year, what you can do within a 1 year, so that you can understand from customer whether that's something which is working. Uh, Now, when it comes to day-to-day activities, you might have different frameworks. So quite often people get confused between agile approach and agile frameworks. So there are some frameworks like Scrum, Kanban, and then Scale Agile frameworks. Now those frameworks might be suitable for certain type of projects, and quite often it's used in IT industry or software industry. But having said that, there's nothing wrong in following waterfall if that's something which is going to make sense in your industry, and that's what best you can do. So there's no right or wrong question. It all driven by what kind of market you are, what kind of customer and product you are delivering, and whether you have got opportunity to have the small increment of value when you can seek from customer. This is something which you are doing is actually going to make change. This is what those customers are looking for.
And I guess, Nick, you can give us example what you think, in which industry you think Agile worked the best from your experience. We actually have one more question
Mhm.
from Tushar, saying, thanks for insights, Sandip. Scrum Master is definitely a very critical role for the wellness of the squad. Only issue I find is the people management is a tough call. Should that responsibility be with Scrum Master or product owner or chapter lead?
That's really interesting question, and I can share my insights based on where I have worked, say in past. So when it comes to people management, we need to elaborate more. Are we talking about performance of those individuals, or are we talking about day-to-day roles and responsibilities of those team members, and whether they are doing those things or not? So Scrum Master is a unique role. First of all, people management. I would strongly recommend that product owner is not rightly placed to act as a people manager. It might be someone who is either chapter lead or scrum master, or probably in specific area if team members are working in, let's say, in a niche technology, like in a CRM systems. So if you have got anyone as a technical manager looking after that thing, that person can act as a people manager when it comes to evaluating technical skills. But when it comes to evaluating outcomes and that person's behavior, and how he or she is contributing in day-to-day activities, Scrum Master can definitely add value in sharing those insights, saying that, okay, looks like this person is quite good in working in his own area, but not comfortable in exploring other areas or stepping out and asking help or providing help. So with the people manager and that person, they can come up with a plan saying that probably in next sprint or next time box, that person can pair up, like that person can work with another person, or if that person is expert in particular area, he can act as a mentor or teacher and share his or her knowledge with someone else. So just to go back to the question with regard to people management, it should be the combined effort of someone who has got those expertise to evaluate that person, as well as scrum master who knows what's happening on day-to-day basis in that particular team. So it should be shared responsibility of scrum master and technical lead or chapter lead, whatever title you have got, but definitely not product owner.
And I guess you can tell us a little bit more about the product owner in this case. We already touched on a little bit about. So what's actually product owner does?
So product owner is someone who actually act as a voice of customer to team and team members. So we are talking about environment where you have got product which is built, or solution which is built, and that's going to be used by your customers. Now team members want someone who can answer all those questions which they want to ask to customer, and it might not be possible in large enterprise to have direct connection with the customer. In that case, product owner decides, okay, after interviewing customer, after doing market research, what type of product increments or features my customer is looking for, and he or she actually shares with the team what's the prioritized list of those features or functionalities which we want to deliver to customer. So he works with the team on day in day out when it comes to setting direction, setting priorities from the customer's point of view. So that's quite unique role, and that's why when going back to the earlier question, I was referring that if you are looking for a people management, you are looking for someone who will help that person to grow. But if you are looking to ensure that you are serving customer better, you want to build right thing at right time in the right market, then product owner is the role which you aspire for. Again, for this particular role, you need to have a bit of business domain knowledge. You need to have a bit of knowledge of your customer, and it's full hands-on role wherein you are supposed to be available to team and guide them when it comes to prioritizing things over each other.
So what about people like, I don't know, UX designers and UX researchers? Are they working close to product owner or?
Yeah, that's a good question. So in one organization where I worked, we had product owners, and then what we had UX and UI designers. Now the way customer experience guys used to work with product owner was uh, we had a customer experience lab. So those CX and customer experience guys used to interact with customer and used to interview them and ask them what's working, what's not working, what are the pain points, how we can make that product better. And all those insights were collected and shared with the product owner. So in few organizations, you might see product owner wearing both hats, like a CX and CI guy. In big organizations, you might have product owner who work hand in hand with customer experience guys to understand and define what's the best problem to solve or what's the best opportunity to leverage.
And look, there is also this role that in some organizations that's called product manager. Is a product manager fit an agile structure or not?
It is. So Scale Agile is another framework. So when we talk about Scrum, we are talking about one squad or one team. So where you have got 9 to 11 team members max, including product owner and Scrum master. And when you talk about a big solution which you need to build, just imagine that you want as a bank you want to launch new product. Now when you launch new product, you need to ensure that there's a right kind of media campaign happening. That product is available through different channels, digital channels, and after sale that product is served properly, payment and billing is done. Now when you look at such a big solution, you need to have someone who can have that oversight beyond team. So product manager role is I will say chief product owner role, wherein you are looking at a bigger solution and you are trying to deliver that solution through multiple squads. Sometimes you might have 8 to 12 squads or teams, and at that team level you will have product owner. So product owner takes direction from product manager or work hand in hand with product manager to decide what team members needs to work on. But product manager is quite senior level role, wherein focus is more towards building those solutions which might customer need, and those might be complex solutions.
And I guess my understanding that like product manager doesn't need to come from a technical background. It could be someone more like business orientated, or even for maybe like from the product marketing team or something, probably in this line. Yeah, is it correct?
Yeah. So if you want
it's a bit of a different career pathway.
yes, and if you want to split between in day-to-day life, how much is focus with regard to customer and market and team, product owner I will say has got 60 to 70% focus towards serving team, 20 to 30% focus towards understanding what customer is looking for by relying on CX guys or product manager in large organization I'm talking. Whereas product managers, 60 to 70% focus will be doing those market research, understanding what competitors are offering, understanding what customer is looking for, where industry is heading. Whereas 20 to 30% focus will be more towards coordinating internally how things needs to be done. So yes, product manager might come from the business background.
And I guess the last role we want to cover in Agile leadership, obviously, is the Agile coach. So what the Agile coaches actually do?
That's an interesting question. So as you can see, Agile coach has got different competencies. So Agile coach is supposed to operate at multiple levels, not just team level, but he or she can work at a team of teams at a time, looking after 10 to 12 teams, or even at enterprise level. And when you act as an agile coach, you have got more responsibilities. So you need to be someone who has got professional coaching experience. You should be someone who has got deep understanding of agile and lean practices. So when we talk about lean and agile practice, we are talking about scrum, scale agile framework, less scrum at scale, lean, so on and so forth. So he is quite senior role. If you want to compare it with product owner and product manager, I will say that if you have got a scrum master working along with product owner at a team level, you got an agile coach who might be working at a product level or portfolio level or program level with a product manager. And whole idea here is that that person has got more experience and expertise beyond scrum, and that's why it's called agile coach. And there are different competencies which you bring to the table, wherein you might act as a facilitator, leading those executive workshops, or you can act as a teacher rolling out different frameworks and processes. You might act as a mentor, so you might be supporting and growing scrum masters. So going back to earlier question, it might happen in particular organizations. Chapter lead might be titled for agile coach or senior agile coach. So scrum masters might report to chapter lead or agile coach, and they agile coaches might be actually ensuring that those scrum masters are growing in their career and got right kind of support. So it's a pretty senior role from agile perspective.
And I guess from like a career perspective, do you need to be first Scrum Master to transition to Agile Coach? Is it the usual career path?
Yes. So the beauty is, I know in the industry we have got few coaches who have moved from different parts, or reached that role from different industry, by following different career path. But at the end of day, you need to be comfortable, or it always helps to connect with the team, and you'll be able to connect with the team when you play role of a scrum master or team coach. So rather than saying scrum master, if I treat scrum master as a team coach who just coaches team by leveraging scrum core competencies, I will say if you want to become agile coach, it always helps to work on the ground with one or two teams, so that you know what are the problem challenges happening at the ground level before you can lift yourself a level up, and then try to look after 8 to 12 teams with the help of scrum masters. So I will say that if you want to have organic growth and need to have best experience, it always helps to start from scratch as a team coach or scrum master rather than straight away jumping into agile coach role.
And so, in your opinion, how technical Agile Coach should be? But the role description seems like it didn't need to be that technical.
Yeah, yeah. So you are absolutely right, and you need to understand and connect dots. So in my career, I have worked in in R&D department, in product development organization. I have worked in bank. I have worked in telco. I have worked in utility. So if you ask me, if you want to solve anyone's problems, you need to have that common sense and understanding with regard to what they are talking. Because as a coach, you are there to support them. As a coach, you are there to guide them to solve those systematic problems and help them deliver those improvements. So if you don't have that domain knowledge, probably it might not help you, but it's not a showstopper. It's not a roadblock. At the end of the day, as a successful agile coach, even if you don't have technical knowledge, it will help if you know what those technical terms team members are referring. It's similar to recruiter. So if you are IT recruiter, it helps when you are recruiting someone, what those buzzwords are or what those skills are you're looking for. So as an agile coach, it will definitely help you have got a bit of knowledge about that particular industry. If you don't know, you can invest some time and try to understand that by just actively listening and going through certain material and understanding what teams are saying. But few things are non-negotiable. One is having in-depth knowledge of lean and agile practices, which comes from lean manufacturing, Kanban, comes from agile, Scrum, scaled agile, large scale Scrum, business agility, enterprise agility, all those things. And you need to, because it has got agile and coach, two words, right? So you need to be expert in that agile area, and you need to be coach. Now in the context of agile coach, as a coach you are supposed to act as a consultant sometimes. So you need to show them and tell them so that they believe and they can understand what you are talking. And then you need to step back and then act as a mentor and let them, run the show, be in the shadow, guide them when needed, and then probably let them run their show on their own and let them come back whenever they have got any need. So to play that role, you need to wear, different hats. You need to be a facilitator, teacher, mentor, and agile expert. And the business domain knowledge is something which you can gain once you interact with team. But technical knowledge, I think, unless that role itself is purely focused on improving technical practices, I don't think you need to be having those skills.
But I don't know, would you say that the team will respect you more if you're more technical?
Team will respect you more once if you try talking in their language, and there is a fine thin line, right? So just take as an example, if you are working in particular organization and CEO of that organization doesn't need to know each and everything which every team member is able to do, right? But at the end of the day, if they are delivering certain outcomes which are for customers or for business, and anyone who has got generic knowledge of that industry is able to understand, then it helps. Similarly, as an agile coach, if you are going in a team stand up and team members are talking about certain things, and you are not able to connect, then definitely you will not be able to serve them better, and you won't be able to actually make impact and gain their trust. So if you want to gain trust, it's a bit of homework which you need to do. So if I am going to work in particular industry, what I will do, probably I will understand what this organization is looking for. If that's the team or group I'm supporting, what's the mission for that team, what's the vision, what those top 10 things which we are trying to achieve as a business outcome through this team, and then start connecting with them with an open mind. Probably a couple of weeks we will just observe, understand, learn, and then step in and start talking with them in their language. Whole idea here is that you don't expect those team members whom you are coaching to understand your language, so you need to talk in their language, and for that you need to invest some time to learn those things.
I think Nick is actually getting back to us. Remember, we were talking which companies are better to do agile.
Mhm.
Product, definitely some IT, infra, data mining, manipulation, business process optimization, automation would be great fit, where final deliverable isn't fully defined in detail at the outset.
Spot on, spot on. Can't agree more with Nick. So the whole idea of agile is that you are working on a complex solution. You are working on something wherein there is a lot of uncertainty. So you can't say that, okay, if I lock in my plan now, if I say that these are the final requirements, I'm going to reach that outcome towards the end of 1 year or 2 years. That's not going to happen. So if you happen to work in industry, or you happen to work on a product or solution where there's a lot of uncertainty, not with regard to what product is going to offer, but with regard to market, with regard to what customer is looking for, then agile is the best way. If it's like constructing home, where that there aren't going to be any changes when you have got that plant sanctioned, probably waterfall approach will be the more suitable approach rather than agile.
Guys, make sure to post your questions if you have any questions to Sandip, because we're probably going for like another 10 minutes. So make sure you post your questions so we have time to answer this. And I guess, Sandip, I probably would like to I guess a bit of a summarize our discussion in a way, coming back to this question, actually, how to transition to this role. And maybe, I don't know, maybe you can give us a particular example. So if you, I don't know, software engineer, where would you start? Where would you start? Like, you're thinking, you probably, you're motivated, you want to go into leadership, so you want to maybe explore more soft skills, improve your
Yeah,
communication skill,
several things.
leadership skills, and so on. So but where would you start? Like, would you approach, I don't know, would you approach another team members? Would you approach a manager? Would you just work on yourself quietly and look for another position? Like, what would you do first?
So if you ask me, if you're aspiring for someone or something, you need to start with the end in your mind. So if you want to become a scrum master or product owner, just look at what are the roles and responsibilities for that particular role, and where are you at this moment, and how you can reach that. So if to work as an agile coach or scrum master, let's say, requirement is that you should be able to facilitate, you should be able to answer all those questions with regard to process, then it might be worthwhile to do a bit of formal training. So do certification. That will be good start. And again, based on how much you want to explore, it's a whole world. I have created agility learning survey, which probably you can leverage, wherein you can find different formal trainings, using which you can focus on what are those foundational courses you can do to explore what this agile leadership is all about. There are role specific courses which you can do, and again, those can be at a team level, at a leadership level, right from beginning till expert level. uh, so those are the forums which you can explore. So that's a formal learning wherein you have taken charge and you are trying to understand and hear it from horse's mouth by referring all those frameworks, through those certification trainings, what how things are supposed to be done. So that's all about ideal world, right? Now when it comes to practicality, uh, you need to just rely on someone who has been in that particular field. You need to first of all find a mentor. Without mentor, probably you might be spending a lot of time to juggle several things and understand what needs to be done. Find a mentor. I offer mentorship program as well, wherein you can come and ask questions saying that, okay, I have started this new role, or probably if I'm joining this company as a agile coach or scrum master, how should I where should I focus in first week or 2 weeks? Now those practical things you might not be able to understand through those trainings or through books. Those things will be shared by someone who has actually been in the field. So find mentor. Next thing which you can do is invest time in listening to podcast, reading books. So there are a whole bunch of books which I will recommend if you are interested to grow in this agile leadership role. And third thing is go and join meetups and join those circles wherein you can interact with other people who are in the industry playing that role. And by just listening to their stories, you might get look and feel of what to expect. So it's a multi-pronged strategy. You need to explore multiple things. But if you are confused where to start, if you don't know what that should be the first step, feel free to reach out to me. I will say that if you want to become a scrum master, probably you need to enroll for a scrum master 2-day course to understand how things work. And post that, if you want to understand how scrum master works on day-to-day basis, you just need to have someone as a mentor like me or someone else, and then be part of that community in order to grow.
And I'm going to post it in the comments underneath this video as well, the link to the survey that everyone can take. And I guess, Sandip, what's the best way to connect with you as well?
So best way to connect with me is LinkedIn. So my name is unique. So you will not find multiple Sandip Rananavare. So find me on LinkedIn, connect with me. I have got few LinkedIn learning groups as well. So what I will do based on your interest, I will include you in that circle so that you will learn from others rather than just learning from me. And just drop me a note. I'm more than happy to help. I have been in this career since last 18 years. Plus, for first 9 to 10 years, I played technical role, and last 8 years, I have been playing this agile leadership role. When I have to actually express my gratitude towards those my mentors and coaches who have actually supported me. And this is something which I'm also trying to do for others who are not in the journey. So I'm more than happy to help if you just connect with me on LinkedIn.
Perfect. Thank you, Sandip. Rajhaj is saying hi as well. Been watching us on the YouTube. And also, actually, that's what I want to ask you. You mentioned, that you can recommend some books. So what would be your favorite book? Do you have a favorite book on Agile?
Oh, so if you are trying to understand how this agile world need to work on, Age of Agile is one book. Anyone can read that book, Age of Agile. Uh, Very very interesting book. It talks about Agile Manifesto in 2001, when 20 years back when this movement started. What was the driver? And it has got a lot of examples, not from IT but non-IT industry as well. So that's something which I'll recommend. If you want to know the basics, there's a 15 pages Scrum guide. uh, 15 pages, literally 15 pages. So in that 15 page you can understand how Scrum is supposed to work, what different roles are there. If you want to know more about product management, the Lean Startup, Eric Ries, I will highly recommend that. In that book, you will see a lot of insights from government, non-government, NGOs, for profit, and different industries. How having that customer centricity can help you. And there are a whole lot of books. In fact, I got few books on my desk.
Okay,
So
go.
if
You
you want,
prepared.
so this is my latest book, The Advantage. It talks about why organizational health trumps everything else in business. So if you want to know how you have to work in a team, organize team at team level, and get best out of team, I will recommend Patrick Lencioni's books, like The Ideal Team Player and The Five Dysfunctions of Team. So there are several books. So based on where you are and where you go, I can recommend list of books. But these are the few handful books which I will recommend to start exploring agile more.
Definitely send me one with the 15 pages. I reckon I can
Absolutely.
manage this one.
Yeah.
Savita is saying hi. I don't know, is it something you know?
Yeah.
No, Savita, no. Anyway, so saying hi as well. They're watching us on YouTube. So let's slowly start wrapping things up. I like Frank's comment. Sorry, Anne, I would love to comment, but I cannot. I can only for 15 minutes. Look, that's okay. You can ask. You can ask a good question next time. So and next time, we're gonna talk with Evgeny. So next Wednesday at 5:30 p.m., 30th of June, we're gonna talk with Evgeny Yakhanov from Origin. He's the head of digital IT there, and our topic will be actually pros and cons of contracting versus permanent employment in IT industry. So I'm sure like a few of you probably will be interested to listen that one. So I'm gonna try to contribute on this topic as well as a new recruiter. Maybe I know some insights too, who knows. But basically, yeah, we'll talk also about the consulting, difference between consulting, contracting, and permanent employment, and pluses and minuses from organizational perspective as well, not only from your perspective, but how it can affect organization as well if you have mostly contracting people there or permanent employees. So that's our topic for next week. And Sandip, I guess just the final words from you, maybe some inspirational quote if you have the favorite one.
I will say find your passion, and just follow your passion. So I found my passion in this agile world, and that's where and that's something which I'm doing since last several years. And still, every day when I go to work, when I interact with team, there's something new to learn, something new to add. So just follow your passion. If your passion is in agile leadership, your passion is more in serving team members, then just do that. That's it.
Yeah, find your passion and go for it. So, and if you need some help to, get passionate about agile leadership, contact Sandip.
Absolutely, I'm always there.
And as I mentioned before, we'll post the agility learning survey in the comments as well. And I hope you will post a link to this 15 pages book for me as well.
Yes. Very good. Very good.
Perfect. Thank you so much, guys, for watching us this evening. As I said, next time I'll see you on the 30th of June. Thank you so much. And thank you, Sandip, again.
Thanks for having me. It was a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone.